Now, we talk about this a lot. Is there such thing as a calling? How specific, how direct? Back when I was in ministry and training class at my church down in North Carolina, we sat in a room, and one of the first things we had to do is talk about our calling into the ministry. And I felt kind of strange. Because, some of these callings were like the skies rolled back. One was telling about a dove descended and handed him a Bible. These were some elaborate callings into the gospel. Right? I can't qualify, I can't deny, I can't say whether it was real, all I can say is that mine wasn't that way.
Amen.
I did not hear a voice say, Edward, stand up and preach the gospel. Some might. Paul did. We're not making fun of it. I'm just saying that wasn't my experience. My experience was this nagging lifetime of should I or shouldn't I. When it was time for me to go away to college, I didn't have to think twice about going into finance. It's just something to do. It's going to be my career. It's going to be my job. But day after day, year after year, month after month, all throughout my life was woven in this pull that, yeah, I'm doing this, but I wonder if I should be doing that. And it was this constant pull. That's what brought me to finally surrendering, yielding to the call that Christ had put on my life.
Amen.
Some may receive an audible, visible, loud, visual calling, and others may not. But be certain of what he's called you for. And understand that each person that is his, there's a specific thing that he has on your life. It is called your God-given purpose. Yes. That God created you for something. And here he has these 12 disciples. He has gathered them together and he's calling them into something. Now notice the calling and the authority over the unholy spirits was given back in chapter 3. It's the same thing that happened back in chapter 3. After they cast him out of the synagogue, he healed the man with the withered hand. He departs. He goes on a mountain, prays all night long over this decision. And then he calls the 12, authorizes them to have authority over these unclean spirits, but it's on pause until chapter 6. And I had to ask God why that was, that he would say something in chapter 3, he would give something in chapter 3, and then hold it until chapter 6. And the answer is because the disciples were being discipled first.
Right.
Before you can go out and share the gospel, you must first know the gospel.
Yeah.
And the way that you get to know the gospel is by spending time with Jesus Christ. Yes, there are classes. Yes, you can spend a lot of money on a course. But sometimes they become no more than a sales class. This is the hook, this is the opening, here's the close. That's what you do when you're selling copiers. I once was blind, but now I see. I've had some challenges in my life. And let me tell you what Christ has done. I've had some challenges in my upbringing. And let me tell you how Christ has sustained me, has kept me, has fed me, has guided me. I know it was the Lord who's been on my side. And let me tell you about it. Jesus calls the disciples, and the purpose of the calling that he's put on each of his disciples' life is to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. If you are a disciple, which means you are a learner of Christ, you've given your life to learning of Christ. It's not a title. It's not a tagline. It's a lifestyle. If we are truly disciples of Christ, what we are saying when we say that is that we have given our lives, the one life to live. I'm talking about a soap opera here, but the one life to live that we had, that God has given us, we now are giving that life to Christ to serve him.
Yes.
That's a disciple.
Yes.
You got